Hi, this is Dee from Dee Book Art. This is the first in a series of videos that will show you how to make beautiful home decor out of used books. In this video, I will demonstrate how to use a pattern to make a simple heart-shaped folded book design. To get started, I want to talk about our materials. We have a used book here. We want to choose one that has not become too yellow. This one's a little bit yellow, but it should be fine. Have a ruler and one of my patterns, and you can find copies of my patterns at my blog, dbookart.blogspot.com. This is called a folding bone. It's not necessary, but it's helpful as we do the design. Okay, so to get started, we need to figure out which page to start our pattern. So first we need to find out how many pages there are in the book. So it's pretty simple. Go to the end of the book. This one looks like it has 309 pages. But I need to be careful to see if it has a long introduction. If it's just a short introduction, it doesn't matter very much, but some books have a long introduction. But it looks like 309 is a good number to start with. So I'm going to write 309 here at the on my pattern, and that's the start of my calculation. We're going to divide that number by 2. So we have 154 and a half. I'm going to not worry about the half. And then we're going to subtract the number of pages in this design. And then I'll subtract the number of pages in the pattern, which I have here printed on the pattern, which is 67. So we end up with the number 87. That's the page we're going to start on. Okay, I'm going to open up the book, and we don't need to go to page 87 right now, but I might as well. And the next thing we're going to do is to fit the pattern to the book. So I'm going to look and see, okay, where do I want my heart? Do I want it closer to the top? Do I want it closer to the bottom? I'm going to put it just about in the middle. And I'm going to mark on the pattern where I want it, the bottom of the pattern to be. Then I'll use my ruler. It looks like that's about 1 inch and 5/8. So I'm going to mark 1 inch and 5/8 on this side. And then I'm going to fold the pattern up on those marks. It's important that you fold the pattern instead of cutting it off, because as we start to use the pattern, that fold will act as a guide. So each time we use the pattern, I'll fit the bottom of the page to be even where that fold is, and that will help me be consistent as I go through the different pages. Okay, we're already on page 87, which is our starting page. And I'm going to slide the pattern out to that first line, that first stripe on the pattern. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark the top and the bottom of that stripe. So the way I made the pattern, the top and the bottom are not straight across. And so I kind of pick a place in the middle of that little curve at the top of the pattern. And then I take the pattern out, and now I'm going to fold. In my method of book folding, I try to fold the books so that they go straight across. Now, since this is the very first one, I'm going to have to really fold it right into that thing to get it straight across. You can, if you want to be super careful, like measure with your ruler from the top to the bottom, mark that same spot on the bottom page and fold that way. That's super precise. I'm not actually that precise when I do it. I just try to make the page line up with the text, because the text is straight across. So if I can make the page parallel to the text, then I know I have it about straight across. and then I make a crease. I'm not going to use the bone to make a really firm crease yet, just in case I need to go back and adjust that crease later. Then I'll take the top corner, same thing, make it go straight across the page, parallel with the text. Make a fold, and that's my very first fold. Then I go to my pattern. I slide it back in my book. I go to the second line. Be sure and mark that you've already done the first line somehow, because once you get to the middle of the pattern, it's going to be easy to lose track on which line you're on. I'm going to go to the second line on my paper pattern. I line it up with the page. I mark the top and the bottom of where the line is. I fold the page up in that mark, trying to make it parallel with the text. Did I get it? Yeah. Then I fold down. On the next one. So right here, I don't have text right where I'm folding, but I can kind of see the text through the paper, so it's easy to get it parallel. Crease that. It's my second page. It's that easy. You just keep going, each time marking off which lines you've already done until you've done the whole pattern. When you get far enough in your folding that the pattern won't fit in the book anymore, it's simple. You just take the pattern out, unfold it, fold part of it back, make sure it's folded perpendicular so that all the edges match. I'm not quite getting that straight. There we go. And then just fold it up again. And there you go. You can start using your pattern again, even though it wouldn't fit before, you can start lining up the pattern again. And just keep going. Okay, I have finished doing all my folds. This is what it looks like from side to side. So now I go back and I fold the book up and I look at it and I think, okay, are there any of these folds that don't look quite right? If this one right here is poking out just a little bit further than its neighbors. And so maybe I go back and I adjust that fold just a little bit, bring it down a tiny bit so that it matches the pattern better. It's maybe a little bit too much. There we go, maybe that much. Go through and adjust any, maybe one time you were not careful and didn't get the pattern quite aligned as you wanted. But when it looks about right, then go back and make those folds really crisp. And that's when I use the folding bowl. But if you want, you can just use your ruler. I just like this better because it has a nice smooth edge. And I'll push down on this side, making those folds really nice and crisp. And then I'll turn on this side and do the same thing, except with my folding bone. It really does work better, but you don't have to buy a folding bone if you don't want to, until those are nice and crisp. Then you can just stand this up, and it makes a beautiful folded book that you can put on your shelf or give to your friend who is a book lover. Thanks for listening. In my next video, I'll show you how to make more complex folds that have an internal folds, not just the outline of fold. One thing I like about this fold method is that it looks cool from the top and the bottom, as well as from the front. Okay. Thanks for listening, and tune in for my next episode.